Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. I'm reading to you the rad that was shared yesterday on social media. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to manage another account, my bank account, while I'm speaking to you. And that rad is, without noticing, we're doing it. We treat the future as intrinsically more valuable than the present. And yet, the future never seems to arrive. This is a really accurate quote. It is a practice in postponing how to be happy, when to be happy. In Meaningful Mornings, we try to train ourselves to live for and as presence. The teaching on presence comes out very strongly in the verse we're about to study. You will know that you're living for and by presence when you become more present. There are less regrets of the past, less anxieties of the future. Bhagavad Gita's chapter 18 is the summary. It is Sri Krishna's valedictory address. He is sharing insights into how to live the Bhagavad Gita in an uncontrolled environment. The conch has been blown, but no weapons have been fired. This is still a pseudo-controlled environment. Soon Sri Krishna will stop teaching, and the pseudo-controlled environment will turn into an uncontrolled environment. How to live in an uncontrolled environment. The term we use in Meaningful Mornings is application. From inspiration to application. From the controlled to the uncontrolled. This application, in a technical sense, is described as nididhyasana. Can you show me what nididhyasana looks like? You're all going to close your eyes and put your fingers like this and sit like this. Nididhyasana means nitaram dhyaihi. Please try to remember the etymology of this word. Nitaram dhyaihi. Nitaram means comprehensive. Dhyaihi means to keep in mind or comprehensive intention. Eyes closed, eyes open. Fingers in a circle, fingers open. For one to live by nididhyasana, or this comprehensive intention, clarity about presence is required. If I'm clear about the ends, then my means will be comprehensive. Yesterday I used the term prityartham, where I have the honor that all I do is purposeful, is an offering, is worship to that presence. as I'm using these words, I feel they're quite beautiful and poetic, but, and the word but itself implies, how does one practice this though? One needs a guide. One needs a guide to learn contemplation. One needs a guide to live comprehensively. And this is most obvious because in verse 50, Shri Krishna shares, Nebodha me. Bodha, you can qualify this as learn this theoretically, but Nibodha, learn this practically from me, as in Sri Krishna. For us, when we are learning about contemplation that is in the controlled environment, do so with your guide in a live way. The next step in this is for one to observe, to watch how your guide lives, Bhagavad Gita, lives contemplation in an uncontrolled environment. And that's why I've shared your guide, you have to have a live relationship with she, he, it. So that we're totally clear. Shri Krishna is sharing the methodology on how to contemplate. Contemplation is in a controlled environment and in an uncontrolled environment. Learn this from your guide in a controlled environment in a live way. Learn this from your guide in an uncontrolled environment in a live way. Then watch how you start to live this too. The exposure will have such a high impact on us. Now, some requirements to be able to engage in nididhyasana, that is application in a controlled and uncontrolled way. In verse 51, Sri Krishna uses the term vyudasa. Vyudasa means to throw away. I'll connect all of this. In verse 52, Sri Krishna uses the word laghu. This is in reference to ashi, which means food, but really all that you input. In verse 53, he uses the term vimuccha. Vimuccha means to be freed of. The opposite of this, he also uses in the verse, parigraha, or parigraha means to hold on tightly. So in verse 51, 52, 53, there are choice words that are used to live in a light way. Throw away this. Be light with that. Be free of this. Start externally and let that evolve to this feeling internally. These are required to practice contemplation, because in this summary, in this valedictory address, Sri Krishna is focusing on living Bhagavad Gita. One who follows through with all of this preparation, with this contemplation, what will happen to them? They will experience completion that is indicated in verse 54. Brahma bhutas prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Joy. In the previous verse, Brahma bhuyaya means one who is becoming Brahman, or the center, for complete, here the term is changed to Brahma Bhutaha. They have re-become Brahman for the center for complete. The previous verse, these are the requirements. You have to live lightly, you have to live rightly, in a controlled and uncontrolled way, and if you follow through, you will feel complete. Sharing this in a different way, how we can practice this. When one is more content with their content, that is their inner world, that is training and becoming more independent. Only Brahman, infinity, completion, is independent. Na shochati, na kangshati. And so, there is no sadness. There's no desire. They're complete. Which is Swami Chinmayananda writes about this so succinctly. Since there is no sense of imperfection, his intellect no longer spins new and novel plans for satisfactions and temporary gratification. These are called desires, and naturally one who grieves not in life desires not for the possession of anything to make his happiness complete. The more desires one has, this really is indicative of how sad one is. I'm incomplete, I feel sad, so I desire pleasure, possession, position to make me less sad, to make me complete. That is an impossibility. And that's why I like the order that's shared here. They don't feel sad, and so they don't have desire. Next quarter, Samaha, which means even, equality. Sarveshu bhuteshu, they feel an equality, they feel a oneness with all beings. Brahman, infinity, is factually the most inclusive. DEI is great. I have a workshop tomorrow for a charity in Chicago on this. But really, Advaita Vedanta, or the science of oneness, is the best program in terms of inclusivity. I've been mentioning this in a practical sense as the code of ethics that we have designed for our seeker to facilitators. I hope you all remember the 3-point plan in this code of ethics. Step 1, instrumentship. This is a program in inclusivity, a program in equality, to feel you're an instrument. Step 2, if you followed step 1, you'll reach step 2, which is to surrender your individuality. Separation. And step 3, stane, acceptance. One accepts all beings. Madbhaktin labate param. Param means the highest. Labate. This is not an external gain, it's a feeling. This feeling is of bhakti, dedication, devotion. Mat means to me. Again and again, Sri Krishna is sharing about he is this. He is that live icon of the one who contemplates, the one who lives in a comprehensive way. He is presence. Our purpose is to be present. For all those who do practice contemplation, I had one with a seeker who was sharing with me, when he contemplates, he feels this light and it makes him cry. I was telling him, when I contemplate, I just feel such expansion. I become as big as the house, as big as the country. But I told him feeling light and me feeling expansion, both are not presence. They are siddhis, they are powers, but that's not presence. Presence has no conditions. That's what is meant by highest, etc. From inspiration to application, your application was for you to come up with what I'm going to share tomorrow in our workshop, putting mindfulness to work. Many of you have shared. Next week on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile, you will see what I will share tomorrow. Our corporate reach team is trying to be very creative in sharing the sacred in the most secular environment like LinkedIn. So if you want to know, then join LinkedIn, apply for some sort of job, and you can find out about this workshop. Your application for this morning, exactly 5 weeks from today, that's 35 days, our Chinmay Inspiration Yatra 17. This is our farthest yatra that is going to Nepal, China, Tibet. The Kailasha Mansarovara Yatra will commence. We are going to Bhagwan Shiva's abode. I want you to visualize that you're coming on this yatra. What are you going to do to prepare for this pilgrimage? This is what I want you to reflect on. This is your application. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy.